Well, hello there, guys. Back for another quick one with some of the impressions of the new 2025 Submariner that I picked up at the AD, and just some of the things I've noticed after wearing it for a couple of days. A little bit of background: if you go back in my videos, you probably noticed that I had a 16610 Submariner from '05 that I bought in St. John's at the AD back in the day when you could get them for around $5,000, which is great. And then also, you saw from the video the other day, the Kermit. This is from '06, 50-year anniversary. Lovely watch. Seen a lot of wrist time. The latest purchase before this one at the dealer a couple months ago was this wonderful little Tudor here, and I have its twin, the evil dark twin. Forgive the hour, it's not set. It was sitting outside of my case. So yeah, two Tudors, dealer, Tudor hat. Look at that, big fan too. And the reason I brought this one out is to tell you a story. This is the one that I bought 2 months ago, and I built enough of a purchase history with the dealer in New York to be able to give me this hat, much this swag, and then get the call for this beauty a couple months later. And then just wanted to talk after 3 days of wear, the things that I have noticed, having had two Submariners pre-update in 13 or whenever that was. With the old bracelet, which brings me to the number one thing that I've noticed. So the number one thing that I've noticed about this new Submariner is how fantastic the bracelet is. It's much more comfortable than the one before, and it feels, not that this one does not feel quality, but it doesn't have the same feeling for, you know what, this could be a $12,000 watch in the gray market or thereabouts. And while solid end links and solid links, there's a rattle and not that the clasp is chintzy, but you look at some of those models, even when you compare it to a Tudor that's a lot less of the price, you look at this bracelet and how it closes and the material and how solid it feels. When you compare it to something that is supposed to be the big crown, no pun intended, line of their company, it's like it just feels better quality, better machining, better materials than that's something even as classic as the 50-year anniversary and as classic as the Submariner is probably the most recognizable watch around the world. So going back to the Sub, there's an adjustment, and certain sport models have it. You probably can't see it very well there, but I'm able to get almost 10 millimeters of fit as you move up and down the adjustment on the quick adjustment. So all it takes is to pull this unit down, and you see the slots, and then you maneuver it to where you need, and then click it back to wherever you want it, and now the watch has been resized up to 10 mil, which for me as an individual who his wrist moves, expands and contracts a lot during the day, depending upon what I'm doing. If I'm out of the gym, if I'm not out of the gym, if I'm inside, as soon as I wake up, if I drink enough water, etc. Being able to adjust that widely is pretty big. I still think though that the Tudor variant of that is a little bit better because you can adjust it without having to put the watch on, so you can actually lift on that, and the band will expand, and then you can push on it and it contracts. It's not as wide of an adjustment as the Rolex is, but it still gives you enough. You'll see the play there. It's kind of difficult to do when you have it on, but there you go. It's closed, and then I lift the tab, and then I'm able to back it out. I'm sure I could find it in the specs, but I'm too lazy to look. You guys can look it up and put it in the comments. But it does allow for that expansion and contraction of your wrist as you wear it, which is pretty cool. So if I have this guy on and I cinch it down, so now it's as tight as it can get without removing any more links. And if I wanted to expand it, all I do is tug that and pull it, and now it's fully, notice how floppy it is? I hate watches like that. I like to wear mine over the end of my ulna right there. So squeezed, and then it doesn't even move. There's a little bit of a movement, obviously, because I don't like them that tight, but that works really well on this. On the Rolex, that adjustment is pretty fantastic, and it allows you to get a little bit more close or tight. See, that's a little bit too loose for my taste, so I would take it out. The only thing I don't like that much is you actually have to remove the watch completely to do it. At least I have found that so far, and now I can have a pretty significant adjustment, and now the watch stays put. That's one. That's the first thing that's immediately noticeable outside of the Cyclops on every time that I look at the watch. So every time I look at the watch, you know, I feel the difference on the bracelet. You can just tell that it's different. The weight is probably several grams different just on the case and mechanism. But that's not that noticeable. The bracelet is 100% noticeable. Game changer for this watch. I mean, seriously, game changer in adjustments. It helps me keep it more comfortable and not being floppy throughout the day, which is something that's a pet peeve of mine. So even if I tighten it all the way, it's staying put. It's a little tight for my taste right now, but still comfortable. I mean, that's about as tight as it can get in that setting. I'd probably back it up one or two little notches, but we'll do that later. The other thing that is immediately noticeable, and I notice it every single time I look at the time, and I hate using the word twice, but time and time, whatever. Every single time I look at down to the watch to see the time, the Cerachrome bezel has light play. You can see it there, where it's deep. It's not just black. There's gradations of black and gray. It's like it's taking some of the reflection from the non-matte finish on the face, and just creates this look that every single time you look at it, there's a little bit of a different look to the watch. Now, obviously, it's new, so you're still going to have the honeymoon stage. Which is not to say that looking down on a Kermit, as an example, or my old 16610. It was a bad experience, but it's not the same. You don't get the same play on the look of the bezel. Not to mention that the platinum indexes on the bezel look great, and great contrast against the black. That's a quick update. Still love the watch. It hasn't come off my wrist. And I think it's going to be probably the mainstay for a while. Well, that typically happens when I get a new watch. I'll like wear it out for like 3 weeks. And then I'll work out my rotation as I get used to it. Anyway, short video, quick impressions, longer term review at the end of the week. I'll start doing something over the weekend where I have a full week if I haven't worn the thing. And give you some more impressions as to whether it makes sense to upgrade from an older model Rolex to one of the more modern units, if it's something that you like. I definitely wouldn't get something before 2022. I don't like how thick the lugs are. Even though the new one is only 1.3 mils in difference, I think it makes a big, it's pretty impactful when you put it on, and the look. I think they figured out what the ratio is as far as case size is concerned to angle to the lug width, and that's probably why it's 41 millimeters, just to extend that. Again, I'm not a designer. It's just a feeling that I get. Regardless, stay tuned for the next video. Keep on keeping on.